Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the Cardano chart and the Bitcoin chart. Quick drop yesterday, quite a sharp drop actually, but that was not unexpected. As you know, if you followed my latest Bitcoin update that I posted before the Cardano update, you know that a drop was expected, a further drop. And let's take a look at it in the Bitcoin chart in a minute. But other than that, yeah, that ruined a little bit the altcoin party yesterday. A lot of altcoins have broken out of their pattern yesterday, including XRP, but they were thrown back, including Algorand, that was thrown back. And we're going to take a look at Bitcoin first. Bitcoin yesterday, if you remember my update video about Bitcoin yesterday that I did, I talked about Elliott Waves, I talked about a wave 3 to which we could come up to, and I said that wave 3 would be in the range between or around 69 to 70k. Now massively close, really close yesterday, nearly 69k. We came in there into that target area, and I showed you then after that we are going to go to see a wave 4 in the range of 65k. Now we went a little bit deeper for a fraction of a minute, or for a few minutes. That was all brought up. We're now in this 65k area exactly. Yeah, so pretty much that worked out based on Elliott Waves. People say it has to do with Evergrande as always, and as it was back here when I talked about the Bitcoin dip. I can't remember if it was here or here. People also said it was related to Evergrande, and that might have been the short-term catalyst. But that is always what happens when market sentiment shifts. In the end, people always look for a reason. But I rarely believe that it's often, it can be a catalyst. You know, if things are moving already in that direction, these things can be a catalyst. Similar to, you know, when the Apple CEO says he thinks Bitcoin is now the thing. Do you believe in a bear market that would shift the bear market around? No, it wouldn't. I think these are just reasons that people then, if it's already in the news, people, you know, focus on that, try to find a reason. That's normal, that's human. These are market cycles. This is market sentiment here. And it played out this scenario so far, 3, 4, and we should then see an increase to wave 5. That is currently my main scenario, and it seems to play out very well today, or at the moment. Currently coining up here for something in a triangle. Now I did also say if that scenario here does not play out, and if we drop below 62.5k roughly, then we can expect further drops into that range here, yeah, into that yellow range. From here then we would come up further. Yeah, that is another bullish scenario. Yeah, these are basically two bullish scenarios, that wave 4, or as I said, if we lose that scenario here, if we lose that support at 62.5, then we can expect a drop into that area here between 64 and between 54 and 57k, from which we then move up. These are two bullish scenarios. And we should all be happy about drops, honestly. People always get upset when there's a small drop, but honestly, a drop like that yesterday, people talked about a crash. I mean, this was a 7% or 8% drop. It's not anything that would surprise us in crypto. I mean, it happens even if you can't explain it here with these Elliott waves, which actually we can. You know, I talked about it yesterday in the video. It's just sometimes a surprise that it happens that fast. But it did happen, and isn't it nicer when it happens fast than when it happens slowly? Yeah, you know, it happened here as well. You know, we had a 10% drop. It happened here before. You know, it had a 8% drop. This is just normal. It's totally normal. It happened here. So these drops are completely normal. They are expected to a degree, and yeah, I did mention it even yesterday in the video. So nothing surprising, nothing that was not called. So yeah, that was actually one that was expected. So from here, we're currently coiling up here in a triangle. Now, if that is going up or down now, I don't know. We need to wait if that scenario continues to play out. So far it has. That could be a bear pennant. We could actually drop further down from here, yeah, bearish pennant. It remains to be seen if we break out of this triangle here and in which direction. But that was so far called. And if that scenario plays out, we should see further price increases in the next few days and weeks towards this wave 5 here, or this larger wave 3, towards, yeah, between 70 and 73k. All right, so Cardano. So the Cardano drop I also talked about yesterday. I did say I wouldn't be surprised if we drop to the 50-day moving average, which is sitting here at around 213. Now, the drop was sharper than expected for Cardano. We dropped briefly below the 50-day moving average. We came back to the trend line, which also, I said, is not a problem if we do that. Wouldn't also be surprised if we dropped to 210. Now we even dropped lower. We actually dropped to 195. Well, I didn't expect that it was that sharp, but as you can see, it was very quickly bought up, and we're now very close in the range of that trend line again. It was bought up very quickly down here. We have not lost the 20-day moving average, which is important. And we are now just below this trend line here, coiling up for another move here. Let's take a look here on the daily, because what I think is very important, and that makes me think and believe, even if we dropped below that trend line that I just shown you, this makes me think, we are still in an uptrend. We're going to continue our uptrend for Cardano. And I don't know, again, people got upset about a drop, but isn't that a good buying opportunity? Because I told you we are back in an uptrend. Yeah, that's at least my view. And if we're back in an uptrend and we have a sharp price drop, isn't that great? You can buy it cheaper. You don't want to buy at 230. I mean, yesterday I had someone posting in the comments, is it too late to buy now at 225? I mean, that was a buying opportunity now, in my view. No financial advice, because we're making higher highs now, yeah, and we haven't made higher highs for a long time. So we're making higher highs here. You can see that was a massive low, a swing low, and it was all bought up. I think that's great, yeah, and I think it's still confirmed that we're back in an uptrend. Now possibilities here, we could get back above that trend line, then we're trading in this ascending triangle, which I thought would happen. So let's see if that happens today. We need to get above the 50-day moving average then at around 212. Or this could, maybe we can even extend this, and this could become something like a channel here or something within which we're trading. So this might be a trend line that we also need to keep an eye on. Let's take a look at that white one. But what is very important, and I think that is really, really powerful, at the moment at least, when that can change, but at the moment, we are above the 50 line on the RSI. And I told you many times before, this for me was the breakout line. And we haven't been above that since the beginning of September, since we actually dropped in that so-called flash crash. We've been below the 50 line, and we couldn't break above the 50 line on the RSI. And I told you oftentimes that, trend lines on the chart, they are subjective. Yeah, you can do it like that, or maybe you do it like that, whatever. But based on that, we would actually be above the trend line. So it's subjective. That is what happens, and it is hard to be objective. Yeah, I think we actually really are above this trend line, because there are different points. You can use the wicks or whatever, but the RSI can be a very, very objective indicator. Yeah, so if we go back to it's just shifted to the 1 hour. So here you've got very clearly a horizontal breakout point, and we broke above it, above the 50 line, came down, found support at the 50 line. Yeah, so it is, I've been telling you for weeks, it's a significant line here, especially for Cardano. For example, Quant adheres very well to the 55 line. So it's not, you can't just say it's always a 50 line, but here for Cardano it definitely is the 50 line. And we found support, we are still in this uptrend, we are still in the bullish range. That's very important, that's why it makes me think we are continuing our way up. And I bought Cardano yesterday, luckily at $2, couldn't quite get the 195. And I made the members aware that I bought more Cardano, I bought more DOT, bought more XRP. These all had a big drop yesterday, but these are great opportunities, isn't it? I know probably many people got liquidated or whatever, but that's the problem if you go leveraged. I would never recommend going leveraged, especially not in crypto, unless you know exactly what to do. Even many professionals choose not to go leveraged because it's just risk, yeah. And in markets which oftentimes, with a lot of people who actually have no experience in trading, like crypto, with a market that runs that irrational sometimes, people get thrown out quickly. The price sometimes doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and then people get thrown out. It's just risky to go leveraged. Of course, I don't tell you what to do. You can do what you want, but I wouldn't recommend it, because then you can buy back cheaper. You're not thrown out of your trade, and that it's looking good. It's looking good, even though we had a sharp drop. And we're back above the trend line anyway, so nothing to worry about. ADA BTC is looking good as well, and as I told you here, we might really have found the low here on the ADA BTC chart, and I showed you here the trend direction with these lines here in blue teal. and I put that horizontal in, and it seems to adhere to that, and I said, look, we could now start to move up, and I think we are actually really doing that. So that's looking good as well. Currently slightly below the 20-day moving average here on the ADA/BTC chart as well, which is that one. So unfortunately, we need to get above that. We were there already here, broke back down, but maybe it wasn't time yet. Hopefully we continue to go up. The RSI is continuing to go up. We had a bullish divergence. I did talk about already here that it was a sign that we are slowing down the downtrend, and we did that. So yeah, it's looking all good. Looking so far as expected, as I said, for Bitcoin, which is moving the market. Should we really drop once more out of this target range, then the alternative scenario will play out, where we move into the 54 to 57k range, which I said before I would actually prefer, because here this is a great buying opportunity, and it would possibly help us to extend the bull run, because we need a cool down. We need these indicators to cool down, and that can extend the bull run, which is important. And I think we all want that. So no reason to be upset about dips. But yeah, I talked about them before, so it was not necessarily a surprise. What was a surprise, that it happened that quickly, but that is just what the crypto market is like, as you can see here, here, here. All right, hopefully you liked that video. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.